Welcome to World Information HD, where we dive into the fascinating world of coins, collectibles, and treasures that have stood the test of time. Today, we are going to explore one of the most intriguing coins in American numismatic history, a coin that represents not just money, but an era, the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. This coin may seem modest at first glance, just a simple copper penny with a familiar design, yet collectors and enthusiasts know that it carries a story that can make a fortune in the right hands. The Lincoln wheat penny is a coin that has been treasured for generations. Its history begins in 1909 when the United States Mint decided to honor Abraham Lincoln on the cent, marking the first time a president's portrait appeared on circulating coinage. Victor David Brenner, the artist behind the design, crafted a coin that would become an icon of American currency, featuring Lincoln on the obverse and the distinctive wheat stalks on the reverse. This reverse design, used from 1909 until 1958, is what gives the coin its wheat penny nickname, making it instantly recognizable among collectors. Now, the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny stands out among its peers. But what exactly makes this coin so special? First, let's understand what no-mint Mark means. Unlike pennies minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, coins produced in Philadelphia during this era typically did not bear a mint mark. While this might sound ordinary, it is this detail that, combined with rarity, condition, and historical significance, can make a coin highly sought after. For collectors, every detail matters, from the sharpness of the wheat stalks to the clarity of Lincoln's portrait, even to the tiniest imperfections, which can sometimes increase a coin's uniqueness. In 1941, America was on the brink of monumental change. The country was still recovering from the Great Depression, and the world was engulfed in the turmoil of World War II. Everyday life was filled with uncertainty, and even a simple penny had a story to tell. Imagine millions of these pennies were minted and circulated for everyday purchases, buying bread, a newspaper, or a bus fare. Yet, amid the millions that changed hands, some coins survived decades in pristine condition, tucked away in collections, jars, and drawers, eventually becoming treasures for collectors. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny is its production numbers. In 1941, the Philadelphia Mint produced nearly 600 million pennies, making it a relatively common date for collectors to encounter. However, rarity is not always about total mintage, it is about survival and condition. Coins that have remained uncirculated, or nearly perfect, are exceptionally rare. Over time, most pennies would have been lost, spent, or damaged. The ones that escaped these fates are now the ones commanding attention in the numismatic world. Condition is everything when it comes to evaluating coins. Numismatists use a grading system to assess a coin's quality, ranging from good to mint state, and the finer the coin, the higher its value. For the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny, uncirculated examples are especially coveted. The sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the crisp lines in the wheat stalks, and the overall luster of the copper surface are what make a coin exceptional. Even small details like scratches, discoloration, or signs of wear can significantly affect the coin's market value. Collectors and historians alike are fascinated by the stories these pennies carry. Some 1941 Lincoln wheat pennies were tucked into wallets, jars, and even secret compartments in homes, forgotten for decades before being rediscovered. Others may have been passed down through generations, retaining their original mint luster as a link to a bygone era. Every scratch, every discoloration, every patina tells a story of the coin's journey through history. But it's not just about the physical coin, it's about the market and the demand. Lincoln wheat pennies, particularly from the early 20th century, have become increasingly popular among collectors. Their charm is not merely historical, it is tangible. The copper composition, which is 95% copper, also makes them a favorite for those interested in the metal value. Yet, it's the collector's market that drives real prices into impressive territory. Among all Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1941 no-mint mark is considered a valuable date, especially in higher grades. You might wonder, how do collectors determine the exact value of a coin like this? Professional grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC), provide standardized evaluations. They examine coins for surface quality, strike quality, luster, and any imperfections. A coin that scores high on these parameters can fetch prices far beyond its face value. Even slight differences in condition can mean the difference between a coin being worth a few dollars or tens of thousands. Now, let's talk about one of the most alluring aspects of coin collecting: the thrill of discovery. Imagine sifting through a box of pennies from decades past, and there it is, a 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny in near-perfect condition. It's a connection to the past, a tangible piece of history, and the excitement of realizing you are holding something rare is unforgettable. This is why coin collecting has remained a beloved hobby for generations, bridging history, art, and treasure hunting. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny also appeals to investors. Over the years, coins like this have demonstrated a remarkable ability to hold and increase in value. Unlike modern coins, which are often mass-produced and less distinctive, older pennies provide both historical intrigue and scarcity. The no-mint mark variety, in particular, has maintained steady demand in the market, making it a smart consideration for collectors and investors alike. Collectors today often hunt for these coins in circulated condition, but true connoisseurs seek high-grade examples. Coins graded as MS-65, MS-66, or higher are rare finds and can command staggering prices. Even coins in lesser grades are collectible because of their historical significance and charm. Many enthusiasts enjoy the tactile experience of handling a coin, appreciating its artistry, and imagining the era it comes from. Each wheat penny carries the imprint of its time, the traces of millions of transactions, and the quiet story of American life during the early 1940s. For those new to collecting, the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny is an excellent starting point. Its history is compelling, its design iconic, and its value in the numismatic market is well established. Learning to identify subtle differences between grades, spotting the mint mark, or the lack thereof, and understanding how condition affects price can be both educational and deeply rewarding. This coin is more than just currency. It is a portal to the past, a study in artistry and economics, and a testament to the enduring appeal of American history. So, what makes this penny worth paying attention to? Beyond its beauty and history, it represents an opportunity. Collectors treasure it for its rarity and top condition, its iconic design, and the connection it provides to an era nearly a century ago. In a world where history often feels distant, holding a coin from 1941 is a tangible link to a simpler, yet profoundly significant, time in American life. Every scratch and patina tells the story of pennies spent at soda fountains, streetcars, and small-town shops, a silent witness to the daily lives of countless Americans. And here is the most exciting part for collectors and investors alike. While the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny may have been worth just a single cent in 1941, today, in exceptional condition, this coin is valued at an astonishing $48,938. This staggering figure underscores the value of preservation, the allure of numismatic history, and the incredible journey a simple penny can take over decades. For those fortunate enough to own one in pristine condition, it is not just a coin, it is a treasure, a symbol of history, and a remarkable piece of Americana. In conclusion, the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny is more than just metal. It is a piece of art, a historical artifact, and a collectible that continues to captivate generations of coin enthusiasts. Its story spans decades, from its minting in Philadelphia to its journey through everyday life, and now to the hands of discerning collectors who recognize its value. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or a beginner fascinated by coins, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny offers history, artistry, and potential wealth in a small, unassuming package. This coin is a reminder that even the simplest objects can carry immense significance, and that with patience, knowledge, and a bit of luck, you too could hold a piece of history that is literally worth thousands of dollars. Welcome back to World Information HD, the channel where we take you on a fascinating journey through the world of coins, treasures of history that often hide in plain sight. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing and valuable pieces of American coinage history, the 1952 D Mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. Yes, the small copper coin that might just be sitting in an old jar or tucked away in your drawer could be worth a small fortune. So, make sure you watch till the very end, because what you're about to learn might just change how you look at every penny you find. The 1952 D Lincoln Wheat Penny belongs to the long and beloved wheat cent series, officially known as the Lincoln Wheat Ears Reverse Cent. This coin was minted between 1909 and 1958, and even though billions were produced, not all pennies are created equal. Some of them, due to minting errors, rarity, and unique condition, are worth far more than their face value, and the 1952 D is one of those special gems. Let's start by taking a closer look at its background. The year 1952 was a significant one in American history. The country was in the midst of the post-World War II boom, industry was thriving, automobiles were everywhere, and the U.S. Mint was working tirelessly to keep up with the growing economy. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d under the date on the coin, struck an incredible 746,130,000 pennies that year. That's right, over 746 million 1-cent coins rolled out of the Denver Mint presses in 1952. Now, you might be wondering, with so many made, how could one single penny be worth so much today? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and minting errors. You see, while most 1952 D pennies are quite common, only a handful survived in pristine, nearly untouched condition, the kind collectors call mint state, MS, or even red gem uncirculated. These are the coins that were never used in circulation. Instead, they were kept safe, avoiding scratches, wear, and dulling over the decades. A typical 1952 D wheat penny that's circulated, meaning it has been used in transactions and has visible wear, is worth only 2 to 5 cents. That's not bad for a coin that's more than 70 years old, but nothing to get too excited about. However, when we move into the higher grades, things start to get interesting. In extremely fine XF condition, the coin can be worth around 25 to 50 cents. In about uncirculated AU grades, it can reach over $1 to $2. But here's where the real magic happens. In mint state, especially in MS65 red or higher, the 1952 D wheat penny can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on its color and strike quality. You see, collectors place great emphasis on color when it comes to old copper coins. The grading system recognizes 3 main categories: brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and red, RD. The red coins have that beautiful original coppery orange shine that makes them look freshly minted. Over the years, most copper coins naturally darken or tone down due to exposure to air and moisture, so finding one that has retained its full red luster from 1952 is incredibly rare. These are the coins that top collectors go after, and they're willing to pay a premium for them. Now, let's talk about minting errors, the unexpected twists that turn ordinary coins into hidden treasures. During the minting process, even the smallest mistake can create something unique and highly desirable to collectors. For the 1952 D Lincoln cent, several notable varieties exist. Some of these include die cracks, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, RPMs, and even double die obverse errors. One of the most sought-after errors is the repunched mint mark, RPM. This happens when the D mint mark was punched more than once into the die, causing it to appear slightly doubled or misaligned. There are several varieties of the 1952 D RPM, and depending on how visible and strong the doubling is, these coins can fetch anywhere from $50 to over $200 even in lower grades. In top condition, they can reach even higher. Then there's the double die obverse, where the doubling occurs on the date or lettering of the coin, particularly on words like Liberty or In God We Trust. Such coins are very rare for the 1952 D series but have been reported and confirmed by collectors and grading companies. What makes the 1952 D penny particularly fascinating is its placement in the timeline of U.S. coinage history. By the early 1950s, the design of the Lincoln Wheat penny had already become an American icon. Designed by Victor David Brenner, This coin was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, a major shift from the earlier designs featuring symbolic figures of liberty. The obverse shows Lincoln's profile facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust." Along the top edge, Liberty, to the left, and the date with the D mint mark to the right. On the reverse, two stylized wheat stalks curve around the words 1 cent, symbolizing prosperity and unity, along with United States of America, and the motto, E pluribus unum. The design remained unchanged until 1959 when it was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse. That means every wheat penny, including the 1952 D, holds a special nostalgic value, a piece of American heritage in your palm. Now let's take a moment to talk about grading, the process that determines a coin's condition and ultimately its value. The most respected grading services in the world are PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. They assign a grade from 1 to 70 based on the Sheldon scale, where 70 means a perfect, flawless coin. A 1952 D penny graded MS67 red or higher is considered near perfection, and that's where the serious money begins to roll in. Collectors also look for coins with strong strike quality, minimal marks, and vibrant original luster. Sometimes, two coins of the same grade can have very different market values simply based on their eye appeal. A 1952 D with bright red color, sharp details, and clean fields, the flat areas around the design, can easily sell for several $1,000s at auction. Another fascinating fact is how small differences can have big impacts. For example, a 1952 D penny graded MS67 red sold at auction for a staggering amount, catching collectors off guard because only a handful of such high-quality examples exist. The reason is that most coins from that era were heavily circulated, used in everyday transactions, and stored in conditions that didn't protect their delicate copper surfaces. So, if you ever stumble upon a 1952 D penny in a coin roll, jar, or collection, take a close look. Check for the clarity of the D mint mark, inspect for doubling or repunching, and observe the color. You might just be holding something incredibly special. Even after decades, the wheat penny remains one of the most beloved coins in American numismatic history. It represents more than just currency, it tells a story of American resilience, craftsmanship, and evolution. The 1952 D stands out as a perfect example of how even a simple cent can become a valuable collector's item, especially when preserved in remarkable condition. And beyond the monetary value, there's something deeply fascinating about holding a coin that's been around for over 70 years. Think of the stories it could tell, the pockets it passed through, the hands it touched, and the history it witnessed. From post-war America to the dawn of the modern age, this penny was part of it all. Collectors and investors alike continue to seek out these coins, not only for profit but for their historical and aesthetic beauty. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting to explore the world of coin collecting, the 1952 D wheat penny is a wonderful reminder of why people fall in love with coins in the first place. Every tiny detail holds meaning, and every small imperfection could hide great value. So, the next time you come across an old penny, take a second look. That tiny copper coin might not just be spare change. It might be your ticket to discovering a piece of history, or perhaps even a life-changing treasure. And now for the most exciting part. Let's talk about its record value. The highest auction price ever recorded for a pristine 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny in brilliant red uncirculated condition reached an incredible $54,239. Yes, you heard that right. $54,239 for a single penny. So, check your change, dig through your coin jars, and keep your eyes open, because you never know when history, beauty, and fortune might just fall into your hands in the form of a simple 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed this video, welcome to World Information HD, the place where we bring you the most fascinating stories from the world of rare coins, treasures hiding in plain sight, right inside your pocket change. Today, we're going to explore one of the most talked about coins in American history, the the 1955 D Mint Mark Lincoln Wheat Penny. A coin that might look simple, ordinary, and brown with age, but could secretly be worth a small fortune. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the incredible story behind this coin, its history, its hidden details, and the shocking value collectors are willing to pay today. Let's start at the very beginning, the year 1955, a time when America was flourishing after World War II. The nation was booming with industry, families were growing, and coins were being minted by the millions. The United States Mint was producing an enormous number of Lincoln Wheat pennies at the time, small copper coins that had already become iconic symbols of American currency. On the front, the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, stood proudly. On the back, two simple wheat stalks curved around the words, 1 cent, representing prosperity and unity. But among these billions of pennies, some carried secrets. Some carried stories that would make collectors' hearts skip a beat, and the 1955 D Wheat penny is one of them. The letter D below the date on the front of this penny stands for Denver, the location of the United States Mint that produced it. Denver was one of the main mints responsible for making Lincoln Wheat pennies during the 1950s. But what makes this year and mint so fascinating is the story of how these coins were produced and how certain conditions made some of them far rarer and more valuable than others. While the Philadelphia Mint became famous for the 1955 double-die penny, a legendary era where the date and lettering appeared doubled, the Denver Mint also produced coins that collectors now eagerly seek, especially those that survived in flawless or uncirculated condition. You see, the value of a coin like the 1955 D Wheat penny depends on several factors: rarity, condition, minting quality, and collector demand. Although over 563 million of these coins were made, time, circulation, and wear have reduced the number of surviving high-quality pieces drastically. Most of the 1955 D pennies you might come across today are worn down, scratched, or discolored. But once in a while, a collector or coin enthusiast discovers one that still shines as if it were minted yesterday, with crisp lines, glowing copper-red luster, and sharp details. That's where the magic happens, and the value skyrockets. To truly appreciate the worth of this coin, it helps to understand the beauty and craftsmanship behind it. The Lincoln Wheat penny is one of America's most beloved designs, remaining in production from 1909 to 1958. It was originally introduced to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the first U.S. coin ever to feature a real person's portrait. Brenner's design was not only symbolic but deeply emotional for the American people. The image of Lincoln, with his thoughtful gaze and quiet dignity, captured the nation's respect for a man who had led them through the country's darkest days. Now, the 1955 D penny represents the final stretch of this iconic design's life before it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. That makes every wheat penny from the 1950s, especially those struck in Denver, an important piece of numismatic history. Collectors often search for these coins not just because of their monetary worth, but because they represent the end of a historic era in American coinage. Let's talk about condition, one of the most critical factors in determining a coin's value. Grading systems like good, G, fine, F, extremely fine, XF, and mint state, MS, are used to describe a coin's physical state. Most 1955 D pennies you'll find in circulation fall under the good category, which means they have heavy wear, faded details, and little to no shine. These are usually worth only a few cents. But once you move up the scale, the difference is astonishing. A coin in extremely fine condition might fetch several dollars, while one in mint state 65 or higher, meaning it has never been used and retains its original luster, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Why is that? Because time has not been kind to most pennies. Copper, while beautiful, is soft and easily damaged. It oxidizes, darkens, and wears down quickly. That's why finding a bright red, uncirculated 1955 D Wheat penny is like finding a piece of lost treasure. Collectors prize them for their perfection, for being untouched by time. These coins are often preserved in protective holders, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and kept in airtight cases to maintain their brilliance. There's another fascinating aspect: mint errors. Even though the Denver Mint was known for its efficiency, mistakes did happen. Sometimes pennies from this year show slight misalignments, off-center strikes, die cracks, or repunched mint marks. These small variations can turn a normal penny into something extraordinary. For instance, a 1955 D penny with a repunched D mint mark, where the mint letter was accidentally struck twice, is a collector's dream. Such errors are not only rare but also historically valuable because they show the human side of the minting process, where even the smallest imperfection can create a masterpiece of rarity. But let's step beyond the technical details and talk about why collectors love this coin so much. It's not just the copper, or the date, or the D mark. It's the nostalgia. Each Lincoln Wheat penny carries with it a story of the past, of pocket change jingling during the 1950s, of small-town stores, of candy bought for a penny, of the world when things were simpler. These coins passed through the hands of millions of Americans, from soldiers returning home to children saving up in piggy banks. Holding one today feels like touching a fragment of history that survived decades of change. Now, imagine you're sorting through a box of old coins, and you suddenly notice the year 1955 with a small D just below it. The coin looks old but has a certain shine that catches your eye. You clean it gently, not too much, because cleaning can actually lower the value, and realize it's in remarkable condition. That's when you take it to a coin dealer or send it for grading, and they tell you what you've just discovered: a near-perfect 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny, a piece that has been preserved through time in almost flawless state. You've just found a tiny copper coin that could be worth more than you ever imagined. Across coin auctions and collector markets, these pennies have been sold for staggering prices. While most average ones remain modest in value, those in pristine mint state condition, especially those with unique characteristics or perfect red luster, have fetched thousands of dollars. The story of these coins teaches an important lesson: that even the smallest, most ordinary-looking items can hold immense value if they carry history, rarity, and perfection. The fascination with Lincoln Wheat pennies continues to grow as more people rediscover coin collecting in modern times. YouTube videos, coin shows, online auctions, and collector communities are filled with passionate discussions about these old copper coins. Some people have even found valuable coins in pocket change or inherited collections. It's a thrilling reminder that treasure can sometimes be hiding in plain sight. So, the next time you find a dusty jar of old pennies, don't overlook them. Each coin could have a secret, a date, a mint mark, a hidden error that could make it worth far more than a cent. Look closely at the small details: the clarity of Lincoln's portrait, the brightness of the copper, the sharpness of the lettering, and of course, that tiny mint mark under the ear. Because one of them might just change your life. The 1955 D mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny is a coin that blends history, craftsmanship, and luck, a small reminder that every piece of metal minted decades ago has its own story to tell. From the mints of Denver to the hands of collectors around the world, this penny has stood the test of time and continues to spark wonder and curiosity among coin enthusiasts. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the value that has left coin lovers speechless. An incredibly preserved 1955 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny, graded at the highest level, was recently valued at an astonishing $46,883.